Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, or morning, wherever you are watching this video from. But thank you and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you don't know who I am, my name is Ash Shaw. I'm from Perth, Australia, and I teach people how to make money online. In this video, we're going to be going over one of my students, Sam, who was able to make 5K in just 5 days with his online sales. And it took Sam only a couple months to get started with this, and then a couple months later, he was able to quit his tradie job. And if he and me can do it well, then anyone else can do it. So enjoy this video, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment. Also, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to send me a message and ask a few more questions on how to get started, send me a message on my Instagram. Thank you very much. Cheers.
What is good, brother? Thank you for coming onto this case study. Just run me through, bro, like everything from your journey to, where you're at now, bit of the challenges, and yeah, run me through it.
Okay. So I guess for me, when I first got started with ABC, it was about September of last year. I first started watching into your content specifically. I think it was about January is when I first reached out to you. Took me 8 months to really kind of make the commitment because I was always second guessing myself, like not thinking I was good enough, not thinking, myself coming from construction was able to do it. I think, but over time, seeing that, even understanding with construction, it's not something that you develop the skills overnight. Everything takes time and everything takes a process to be able to get good at it. And I think that's what I couldn't wrap my head around. I was always thinking that everyone just got like overnight success. It wasn't like a journey because I never really saw the journey of many people's things. So I think over the 8 months is why I took 8 months, is because I was watching your journey and I've seen you go from, it was like, I can't remember, it was like 5, 10K a month, and then you were in Dubai and I was like, what is going on? So I think that's when I kind of committed to myself and I was like, I need to take the leap and commit into myself. So then that's too.
Yeah.
That's about September.
Yeah, that is one thing that you do, you don't really see, like you just normally just see people in their fucking success. They got the Raris, they got everything. But when you see someone documenting their whole journey from like out of the trades, out of FIFO, learning, maybe failing, it gives it like a lot. You actually can see it happening, and it has like a lot more trust. But I guess for you, bro, like what resonated you with me the most when you were looking at my content?
I think the relatability, really, that you were no different to me as a person, right? You worked in construction, you were homeless at a point. Like I could relate to so many things that you were in your situation that I was like, well, if he can do it, why can't I do it? I got to take the got to take the bet against myself, because I guess if I just stayed in the same situation, I was living week to week, just enjoying my weekends, going back to work for Monday and just doing the same repeat every week, looking at my bank account with no savings for like 4 years. So it was like, I understood that if I just continued doing that, it wasn't going to get me to the goals that I really wanted. And at a young age, like my family's been in sales, like my whole family's in sales. So I knew me going down construction was a bit different. And I kind of felt like I was not really leading the path of my family. So that's one of the main things as well, just kind of keeping the reputation in the family and being able to provide.
Yeah, 100%. And like, I mean, look, construction is obviously, it is a good job. You can become very successful from it, but I think it's getting harder and harder by the year. Plus also, even if you are successful, you just had that, it's like 30 or 40 years of just torture on your body. But then when you get to enjoy it, you're just fucked. Like that was the one thing for me. Like I just didn't want to be cooked my whole life. You know what I mean? And then also working week to week, living paycheck to paycheck, and you're working 5, 6 days a week for 10, 15 years, like just to get nowhere. That was like my biggest fear. Yeah.
Yeah, the people I was working with, I think the one thing I understood, that a lot of the guys I worked with, because I went from job to job trying to find something that I really enjoyed, nothing stuck. I went from installing louvers, like those aluminium louvers on those apartment buildings, to doing roof carpentry, got scared of being on a roof, to going down, just doing framing, didn't like that, went to working for a builder, just got abused. And so I was like, well, where's the middle ground? So then I went to go working as a forklift driver because they would pay me $30 an hour. And then I lived with that because I was able to save a tiny bit. But it was no career, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what was I going to do as a forklift driver?
Yeah, what's the progression as a forklift driver? Like, there's just, I mean, it is cool to have a certificate, but yeah, right. I was the same. I tried every different trade just to see which one I actually liked. And after doing all of them, I was like, I actually just don't like any of them. So I just picked the one that made me the most amount of money, and I just stuck with that. And then I went out, yeah, FIFO. But I guess for you, bro, what was like something that you like held you off for a bit? Because you said you were looking at it for like 6 months to like a bit around 6 months.
Yeah, I think it was more skepticism. I was very skeptical, especially just the way that everything was presented online seemed really too good to be true until I did the nitty gritty kind of doing my own research into it, understanding that, remote sales and high ticket sales specifically isn't necessarily a business model that you learn. You more obtain skills, and those skills will never get taken away from you. They kind of stay with you. So even after my mentoring, I could go pursue a different job. I never lose that value that I invested into myself. I feel if you go and invest into something like drop shipping, reselling, trading, you don't get any worth out of it. Maybe trading, I guess, maybe trading because you learn strategies, but still at the end of the day, it's not, you still have to have money to make money with those sort of things. Drop shipping, you need capital, you need 10, 20, $30,000 to be able to start a business. It's just, you're better off investing into your skill sets, which are going to help you in the long term instead.
Yeah, it's like you're never gonna lose a skill set unless you fucking either die or I don't know, go brain dead. But then I mean you would just be on fucking benefits. But yeah, and like especially with our coaches and that, they drill it in like that if everything failed, like if everything went tits up, you'd be like, okay, I know what to do now. So I know how to market, I know how to sell. I just gotta find something. It's gonna be trenches for a bit, but I've been there and you already had the skills. So for you, bro, like what was I guess a challenge that you faced when you started? And then like, what was a main challenge that you faced?
Biggest challenge I faced was actually friends. I had so many friends, family, people at work that told me it wasn't going to work. People telling me to just go back to working a normal job. That struck me. You've got so many people against you. At the end of the day, I kind of had to look at it as in none of the people that were giving me their opinions were ever in the position that I wanted to see myself in. So if I continue just taking other people's judgment and other people's opinions, it was just going to lead me to the same position I was stuck in, which I was trying to get out of in the first place. So that, and then when I got into the community, into ABC, there was actually a community. So that kept me accountable. I made friends. I had people that resonated with my goals. And that's really what I guess canceled out that objection for myself. That was the biggest thing that stopped me. But then having the community that kind of tied it all back in, understanding that there was other people out there that were in the same position as me, maybe a little bit ahead of me. Some were greatly ahead of me. But I was able to connect with everyone. So I think that was the best thing.
Yeah, that's definitely a big thing as well. Like, because I mean, I know it's the exact same. Like, you go to work every single day. You talk to blokes that have been at construction for fucking years. You go out with your mates, they're doing the same job, and there's no like sort of connection between actually trying to do this. And that's why I find like, yeah, the community is so like important because you can just call someone up, you can just jump on a call, you can text someone, and they're pretty much in the same position, or they've been there and they've gone through it, or they're like you can help them as well. So it's a whole like ecosystem of everyone helping each other, but mainly like working with each other to fucking become the best, Yeah. So for you, bro, like how you just run me through some of your results. Like obviously you've left your job. How much money have you made? Like where are you at with everything?
Okay. So I started posting content before I got into the community because I was so passionate on building a personal brand. It took me 14 or 15 days and we had one video go viral and it did me over 15,000 followers in like 24 hours. That was the biggest turning point for myself because I had such a big fluctuation of people interested in what I was doing, but I had no skill set to be able to provide to these people. So then I kind of had to backtrack, and it was a big journey, I guess, for me. Like the one thing I would recommend to anyone that's going to get into the online space, obtain a skill set before you go try and monetize it. You need to know what you're talking about before you go and try post content and all that sort of stuff. So I think that was one of the biggest things. Ask me the question again because I've got a few other ones.
What in like so you have that. What was how much money do you reckon you've made over like since you've started?
Since I've started, I think I've made just over 6 figures. But recently, I think my biggest month's about a 20K month. So it was about 5K a week for 4 weeks in a row. That's the biggest I've done. So it was the best I've done was 5K in 5 days. So, if you equal that out to a week, that's nearly 30K. But solidified was about 20K, which was awesome.
Yeah.
That was
a big turn. It opens up your mind a lot, eh? Like you're just like, well, why am I going back to work for $4,000 a month when I've just done this, learned a skill and make 20K in a month?
Yeah. Well, I think the biggest turning point was the week that I made. My first week was 5 weeks in. I did $3,300 in 1 week while I was still working my job. I made my monthly income while working my job. So I was like, I gave myself one more week. Well, I put in my 2 weeks notice because I was working for too long that I had to do 2 weeks. I couldn't just do 1 week. And then they found my video and then they fired me on the spot. So
Oh well, at least you were printing. At least you were printing.
yeah, exactly. I had
Jesus.
that, so it was all good. I was in the
So,
position. So
so have you been doing it for a year now, or what's the
yeah.
time limit? Yeah. So you've been doing it for a
I
year,
started. Oh,
September. Okay. So yeah, just like 12 months, 13
you're
months, but you've just in your very first year, you've cracked six figures, no
yeah.
experience at all, no, never posted content, never done sales before, and you're already earning, we're probably earning double than what you were making last year at your job, and earning probably, if not more than an average like salesperson, which is fucking
Yeah.
crazy, you know?
It's
So,
like I
I'm
could have
like,
always got into car sales,
yeah,
but you're never going to get paid on this high commission. You know what I mean? Car
yeah,
sales,
exactly. And like car sales, you kind of stuck to one location.
right?
That's why I
And
always want to fucking,
it's cold selling at the end of the day.
yeah. And no one really likes to be a car salesman.
No.
So, I mean, bro, like over your journey of everything, what's some advice that you would give to someone that's like looking to get into this? But I guess maybe they're a bit skeptical or they're, a bit kind of on the fence. What would your advice be, bro?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing I would recommend to anyone is do never compare yourself to anyone else. Everyone is in their own lane. And I think the one thing that I see people fail on or they lose motivation is they just compare themselves to other people. Take it slow. Don't rush yourself. Take it step by step, because if you do rush yourself, you'll find yourself in a hole. You find yourself overloading yourself. What's that word that I like to say? It's yeah, you overload yourself with too much information at one point. You need to take it step by step, and over time, if you just focus at taking it steps, it will come a lot easier. I think I was trying to focus on learning appointment setting, appointment closing, content, and you can't do all three at the same time. You have to focus on one, get good at it, then maybe focus on the second one, get good at it, and then maybe monetize it at the end if you really want to build a personal brand.
Yeah.
Yeah, really just take it step by step.
And really just focusing on each, like one skill, mastering that, next skill, mastering that, and then you can fucking go instead of just like rushing over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I see people when they first get into it, they're trying to learn appointment closing. They're trying to learn appointment closing while working a job. And what are you doing?
Yeah.
Appointment closing, you can replace your income while working your job. That's perfect. Leave your job while being an appointment setter, and then use all of that time that you're working your job into focusing on appointment closing. And then you can level up from there. Take it step by step.
100%, bro. 100%. Well, thanks for coming on, bro. Means a lot.
Awesome.
And sweet as. Cheers, legend.